Welcome, everybody, to the National Institute for Genealogical Studies Winter 2022 graduation. We have a lot of people here with us, and we are really excited to share this special moment in everyone's lives. We do have a few people still joining us, but when you go through this, we're going to ask at the end if you'll hold your questions, and then we'll take any questions at the end after we've turned off the recording. If you don't want to be on the recording, please go ahead and turn off your personal camera. And if you're coming in, please do mute so that we're able to go through the ceremony for our special graduates. Not everyone responded to be featured in the graduation, but we did post everyone's names at the end. So we are thrilled to have the opportunity to celebrate with you your graduation from the National Institute for Genealogical Studies. And we also want you to know that many of our students continue on in their studies and add on additional certifications. And you're going to meet a few of those students who have really gone hog wild and gotten as many certifications as they could and are continuing in their education today. Because as we have learned, most genealogists are lifelong learners. So we thank you for being with us, and we want to introduce who we are at the National Institute for Genealogical Studies. And as you'll see going on, we are expanding, and our name is becoming the International Institute of Genealogical Studies, which means that it will be easier for students around the world to interact with classes and join us in getting their certifications. A certification with the National Institute, soon to be International Institute of Genealogical Studies, is called a PLCGS. That is a fully graduated professional learning certificate in genealogical studies. And if you have earned that, you're able to put that as nominal after your name. The nice thing about that is that as you grow in your professional genealogical skills and certifications, it adds to people's trust in your knowledge because you've gone through our full program. And with that, who we are, the members of our faculties and authors are well-known genealogists from around the world. They have expertise in many, many different things. And so we also get to announce to you today that we have just hired on a new Irish instructor. She will be an adjunct professor for us.
Angie, you're muted.
When did I mute? Did I mute just then? I hope.
Just when you were announcing the new director.
Well, it must have been a secret. So our new Irish Director of Studies is named Claire Bradley, and she'll be joining us in 2023. And she will be revamping the Irish program, and we are very excited to have her join us. And we have a new instructor who will be helping us with Southern US records, methodology, and DNA. And her name is Jennifer Rudzant, and you may have already seen her on our Student Lounge presentation with DNA using Gelphi, GEPHI.org. And so Jennifer will be joining us as well. So I'm excited for you to be able to see them do new student meetings going forward. And so if you are a lifelong learner, they are some of our examples of our instructors. Today, you'll also get to see one of our instructors earn yet another certification as she graduates. So we're excited to introduce you to those that are staff, adjunct professors, admin, and assistants throughout the National Institute. And we're excited to have you start to get to know the new ones that will be coming on in 2023. This is me. My name is Angela Breitenbach. I'm the executive director, and I am a professional writer. So I will be assisting us in growing in our publications starting in 2023 as I continue to lead us toward the international aspect of our institute. This is Sue DeGroot. She is an amazing helper for all of our students as Director of Student and Curriculum Administration. She is up in Canada. And she's on with us right now. And she was instrumental in helping us put together our genealogy presentation to you today for your graduation. This is Gina Philibert Ortega. She is Director of Genealogy Services, and she will be continuing with us in 2023 in some smaller ways. She's choosing to step back from the full-time position in order to allow her to travel with her husband and do some of her own projects. She has been instrumental in designing and writing and updating a lot of our courses, and many of you have met her in the analysis and skills. This is Cheryl Levy. She does a lot of our social media. She helps to lead some of our meetings with internet skills and internet tools. You'll get to visit with her in not only our Facebook student group, but also over in Genealogy Wise, which is renaming as Genealogy Social. And she has been very, very helpful and kind-hearted with helping our students with social media and getting announcements out. This is Brenda Wheeler. She lives down in Australia. She's an instructor and consultant, and she is going to be one of our graduates today with one more of her certifications. Congratulations to Brenda, and thank you to all of our staff for continuing your education, because you are continuing to make professionalism and expertise a priority for us. We have many consultants and virtual meeting hosts. Gina is one, Cheryl is one. Kathy Holland comes to us from California. She assists us with our student lecturing program. Brenda Wheeler assists us with analysis and skills, English, Scottish, and quite a few other classes. In fact, you may have seen her recently on paleography. And Lisa Alzo has been helping us as well. She does some meetings. She does a lot of Eastern European and some other meetings for us as well. And Shannon Combs Bennett assists us with our DNA program, and she'll be sharing that with Jennifer coming up in the future. Welcome, graduates and guests. I want to share with you the characteristics of our graduates, which are personified by Geo, the genealogy goose. This is him as our formal emblem. Our characteristics of our graduates are professional. They guard the truth, much like a goose will guard his family and his territory. We work with teamwork. And as you see, the Canada Goose, which gives a nod to the origins, the foundations of our school coming from Canada originally, they fly in a V, and they will often share the lead, which is what we love to do as genealogists. The Canada Goose is loyal and really wants to preserve and protect family history, and family relationships. A Canada Goose is a navigator, can fly around the world and does not get lost. They are easy to follow and easy to fly in formation with. And that is a crucial aspect of a genealogist, sharing our knowledge with one another. They are persistent. They will keep going. And that is what our genealogists do. They are persistent in their research and in their studies, and they are communicators. We love to communicate one with another, and the Canada Goose definitely exemplifies that. You get into one of their crowds and it's a bit noisy. What's awesome is you put genealogists in a crowd, it's a bit noisy, but we love to share that knowledge and help, citations, research. We just want everybody to be able to preserve that into the future. Our graduates soar. They not only soar out and across the world, but they also soar in helping their clients and the places that they volunteer at, because they are professionals in what they do. The certificates that we are awarding today have been earned between May 1st and the 31st of October, 2022. And here we go. I'm introducing Sue to begin announcing our graduates.
Hi, everyone. Our first graduate is Nadine Ashcroft of Kingswinford, Great Britain. She's earned her DNA and genetic genealogy with distinction. Nadine is a professional transcriptionist and genetic genealogist from the United Kingdom. She enjoys learning about family history and social history. Nadine intends to use what she has learned to help people interpret their DNA test results. Next, we have Vera Battle of Richmond, Virginia. She has earned her American Records Certificate. Vera is working on the Professional Development Certificate. Also, she is currently participating in the ProGen 61 and the GenProof 79 study groups. Vera's plans on obtaining her BCG certification and possibly her ICAP Gen accreditation. At some point, she would like to have her own genealogy business. Next, we have Ruth Campbell of Fayetteville, Georgia. She's earned her Canadian records. Ruth is a professional genealogist and teaches a Let's Talk DNA class. She specializes in Canadian, English, and US research. She recently resolved DNA research on her maternal line dating back to the 1800s. Ruth can be found on Facebook, Let's Talk DNA, Ruth Hewitt Campbell. Next, we have Vanessa Dormany from Tifton, Georgia. She has earned her DNA and Genetic Genealogy certificate with distinction. Vanessa is a professional genealogist, graphic designer, and illustrator. She is passionate about finding lost family through DNA testing and analysis paired with genealogical research. Vanessa's plans to continue helping those researching their lost families. Her business name is Designing Genealogy. Then we have Claire Jean Esker of Highwood, Illinois, who's earned her American Records Certificate. Claire is also a graduate of the University of Strathclyde's Genealogical, Paleographic, and Heraldic Studies program. Her research interest is in Poland, Polish Americans, and Polish family history. A love developed when tracing her grandfather's pedigree. Claire's plans to continue her studies with the National Institute in Eastern European records. She's expected to graduate from ProGen 56 study group in December. And her business name is Pass Forward Family History. Next, we have Bobby Fox from Lethbridge, Alberta. She's earned her librarianship certificate with distinction. Bobby is the archives assistant at the Galt Museum and Archives. She sits on the executive of the Lethbridge Historical Society and co-authored the book Lethbridge, A History in Pictures. Her certificate will help her improve the genealogy work in the archives.
Next, we have Michelle Galinas of Gatineau, Quebec. Her certificate is in Canadian records. Michelle is a retired civil servant with 20 years investigation experience and a business administration bachelor's degree. She is a member of the I'm going to be in trouble here. I'm so sorry. Outaouais Genealogical Society, a research room assistant, and a family search indexer. Her future plans are preparing to launch her genealogical research services in January 2023 and will be publishing a historical novel and a few articles. Sherry Green is from Belleville, Ontario. Her certificate is in DNA and Genetic Genealogy. Her previous certificates are in Canadian and English records. Sherry currently works full-time as an IT systems analyst for a public school board. She's an avid family historian trying to put the pieces of her family puzzle together. Future plans for Sherry: she intends to use her certificate as a step towards starting her own genealogy business once she retires. Kathy Grigg of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Her certificates are in Canadian records and DNA and Genetic Genealogy with distinction. Kathie's an enthusiastic genealogical researcher. She enjoys writing and has contributed accounts of her findings to a number of family history groups. Her future plans: Kathie plans to continue her genealogical research of her own family, as well as helping family and friends with their family history questions. Joy Kestenbaum of New York, New York. Her certificate is in DNA and Genetic Genealogy with distinction. Her bio says that she is the Vice President Programming Jewish Genealogical Society in New York City, art and architectural historian, and a former academic librarian and preservation consultant. She's a professional genealogist with expertise in New York and Jewish genealogy. Her future plans are also completing certificates in American and Eastern European records and professional development. She will continue to help clients better understand their family history. Diane Lawton of Kingston, Ontario. Her certificate is in DNA and Genetic Genealogy. Previous certificates include American, Canadian, English, and Irish records. Diane began taking courses in 2004 when she met Louis Saint-Denis and Susanna de Groot at a genealogy conference in Ottawa, Canada. She's been hooked since. Her favorite course was paleography. Her future plans include providing assistance to friends getting started in genealogy. Sarah J. Lee. She's from New Brunswick, New Jersey. Her certificate is in DNA and Genetic Genealogy. Sarah is currently a teacher and sports photographer looking to become a professional genealogist. She is particularly interested in DNA and African American genealogy. Sarah's goal is to seek employment with a commercial company as a researcher in order to gain experience.
Marianne.
Sorry, my wheel went a little fast.
Marianne Littell of Prescott, Arizona. Her certificates are in DNA and genetic genealogy. She's been actively involved in genealogy since 1975, although she has always had questions about her family history. Works on genealogy almost every day. In the future, Marianne plans for the future have already started. She has a book in process which grows larger every day. Nancy MACKENZIE of COQUITLAM, British Columbia, has a certificate in DNA and Genetic Genealogy with distinction. Nancy is a broadcaster in radio, PR director of the Canadian Cancer Society, working with Terry Fox, Silversmith, fluent in French and Spanish, and a genealogist. In the future, currently Nancy is helping friends with family and their DNA matches. She is interested in forensic genealogy and all the breakthroughs possible with DNA. Brian McLaughlin. Brian of Caves Beach, New South Wales, Australia. This time the certificates in DNA and genetic genealogy. His previous certificates include American, Australian, Canadian, Eastern Europe, English, German, Irish records, and professional development. Brian is a retired statistician and lecturer. He commenced researching his ancestry in 2010 and genealogical studies in 2015. He has written books on his own life and travels. His business name is Data Edge Genealogy. CATHIE MCCABE of Powder Springs, Georgia. Her certificate is in Canadian records with distinction and has a previous certificate in American records. CATHIE is a professional genealogist and lecturer in the Atlanta area. She will graduate from the ProGen 60 study group in December and will be seeking ICAP Gen accreditation in the United States Southeast region. Her business name is CATHIE MCCABE Genealogy. PRINCE-HOLLENBERG of Hamilton, Ontario. Her certificate is Librarianship with distinction. Kay is a professional genealogist specializing in Jewish genealogy and Holocaust research. She is currently working on a multi-year project to document Jewish families and Holocaust survivors from Korolauka. I know I get one. In the future, Kay is a librarian by day, working with archives in a public library setting, and plans to use her certificate in her day-to-day work. Her business name is Prince Genealogy Services. Barb Proctor of Henderson, Nevada. Her certificate is the American certificate. Barb specializes in genetic genealogy and New York City research. With a future plan, Barb plans on solving more adoption cases with the use of DNA, and her business name is Rooted Genes.
Lori Lee Sauber of Spokane Valley, Washington, has earned her certificate in DNA and genetic genealogy. Lori Lee is a professional genealogist, owner of L Squared Innovations, and the inventor of the L Squared Scrollio research kits for genealogists. She is an engaging speaker and a lifelong learner. Her future plans: Lori Lee adds forensic investigative genetic genealogy research services to her company's offerings. Her special focus will be military, repatriation, and adoptees. Her business name is L Squared Innovations. Lee Severney of Quaker Hill, Connecticut, has earned a certificate in Eastern European records and Irish records. Lee is born and raised New Englander. She has been researching for almost 2 decades. She credits her papa with her passion for genealogy research and storytelling. In the future, Lee hopes to become a certified genealogist. In the very near future, she is currently working for Ancestry.com and hopes to join a ProGen team. Her business name is Roots to Branches Genealogy Services. She doesn't have a website right now, but you can contact her at roots2branchesgenealogy@gmail.com.
That's Leah.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Helen V. Smith of Green Bank, Queensland, has earned a certificate in DNA and genetic genealogy with distinction. Her previous certificate was in librarianship. Helen has been researching since 1986, presenting since 1992, and has presented in Australia, England, Canada, USA, and abroad. Many genealogical cruises aboard, sorry. Helen has written 2 books and many articles. Helen will continue to utilize her learning in her work with adoptees and others looking for biological family. Her business name is Dragon Genealogy, and her website is on the screen there. Kevin Speyer of Des Moines, Iowa, has earned his certificate in German records and DNA and genetic genealogy. Kevin has served on the executive board of his state genealogical society and transitioned their website infrastructure. He has been teaching classes and researching for over 20 years. For future plans, Kevin will continue to lecture, teach, and volunteer at his state genealogy society, and his business name is Inspired Connections. Louise Tremblay Etter of Chapleau, Ontario, has earned her certificate in Canadian records. Louise is a retired teacher with a lifelong interest in history and genealogy. She is currently working on the DNA and genetic genealogy certificate. Louise is keeping her options open regarding a career in the field.
Linda Vase of Linthicum, Maryland, has earned her American records with distinction and her English records certificate. Linda has over 29 years as a librarian and over 19 years in genealogical research. She is deeply interested in helping others discover their genealogical stories. Linda hopes to pursue a second career in genealogical research with the help of the knowledge gained through the certificate programs. Drew von Hasselbach of Toronto, Ontario, has earned his Canadian records with distinction. Drew, a lawyer and an award-winning journalist with Global News, has worked in media for 3 decades. He lives in Toronto with his wife, Caroline, and his teenage son, Thomas. Drew plans to share his genealogical knowledge by writing journal and newsletter articles and delivering lectures to family history societies.
Debbie Watt of Newmarket, Ontario. She's earned her Canadian Record Certificate. Debbie is a historical researcher, professional genealogist, author, and speaker. She's spent her lifetime passionately advocating the importance of history by using genealogical research to help better understand the present. Debbie's future plans are that she created her genealogical research company 11 years ago after becoming disabled. She plans to expand her passion, educate, and help people discover their own genealogical quests. Her business name is Diggin' Roots Genealogical Research. And Brenda Wheeler. She is of HALLETT Cove, South Australia. Her certificate is in DNA and Genetic Genealogy. Her previous certificates include English and Irish records. Brenda is an instructor, mentor, and consultant for the National Institute for Genealogical Studies. She owns Relative Discoveries, researching Australian, English, Irish, and Dutch records. Her future plans are DNA is a rapidly growing area of research, and Brenda would like to be able to advise her clients to the best of her abilities. Business name, Relative Discoveries. Deborah Wickham of Medicine Hat, Alberta. She's earned her certificate in Canadian records. Deborah is the treasurer of the Medicine Hat and District Genealogical Society, and as an avid researcher and family historian, she has many responsibilities. She has strong ties to family and to her community. Deborah plans to develop a series of learning webinars for fellow researchers and a genealogy Jeopardy game. Oh, I want to play. She wants to host a trip to the Family History Library in 2023. All of our graduates are here listed on the page, and as we move to our new website, we'll begin posting them and their websites for their professional businesses on that new website sometime in 2023, because we want to not only promote that they are graduates of our institute, but we want to help promote them and help them gain business into their new websites and into their new businesses. So I'm just going to quickly read out our graduates so that if someone hadn't turned in a photo and a bio, we want to recognize you here. So congratulations to the National Institute for Genealogical Studies graduates, winter graduation 2022. Nadine Ashcroft, Albert Bain, Margaret Baker, Vera Battle, Ruth Campbell, Ariana Sishlak, Vanessa Dormany, Claire Esker, Bobby Fox, Janice Fritsch, Michelle Galinas, Sherry Green, Kathy Grigg, Kathleen Hawley, Lori Herman, Jennifer Johnson, Linda Keenan, Joy Kestenbaum, Lori Kolstead, Rosemary Kopitke, Diane Lawton, Sarah Lee, Marianne Littell, Nancy McKenzie, Brian McLaughlin, Lillian McGill, Susan Marvos, Kathy McCabe, David Nicholas, Kay Prince-HOLLENBERG, Barbara Proctor, Christina Rainier, Kathleen Ray, Lori Lee Sauber, Leah Savini, Helen V. Smith, Kevin Spire, Michael Stout, Louise Tremblay-Etter, Linda Vase, Drew von Hasselbach, Debbie Watt, Norman Wenger, Daphne Wetmore, Brenda Wheeler, and Debbie Wickham. We wish you huge congratulations. Remember to update us as you spread your wings across the globe in search of genealogical treasures. We want to share your adventures and let others know your accomplishments. Send your name, business name, and website to admin@Genealogical Studies. Let's get you set up with an interview for our blog or a special tip you want to share, or your specialty if you have a special piece of information that we can help other genealogists grow. And as you notice, starting in 2023, we will be the International Institute of Genealogical Studies. But Geo, our genealogy goose, is wishing you congratulations to the class of 2022. We are so proud of you. At this time, we're going to stop our recording so that we can take any questions from our graduates going forward into the future. But we ask you to be with us again in about 6 months as we do our spring 2023 graduation with the first class graduating from the International Institute of Genealogical Studies. We thank you so much for being with us, and we'll stay on for a few minutes to help you with anything you need, questions, or any other things that you want to share with us. Thank you so much.